Misophonia.
Hey.
Hey. Spider-Man meme.
Miss.
Sophonia.
Miss.
That's a good way to memorize that. Oh, hey. Hi, welcome back to the Kids Are Asleep podcast. I'm Eric.
Hi, it's me.
Hi, it's me, Smalls. Remember that was your thing? You would always, on your Instagram, you had a little green alien that was like in twerk position all the way down, squatted, and then going, hi, it's me, Smalls.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute.
I am Smalls. People actually think that's my real name.
Or last name. It's not?
Or last name. Yeah, people think it's my last name.
It's not?
No. It's my middle name.
How did that come about? You have the nickname Smalls on your Instagram, so it's Nessa_Smalls in case you didn't know.
In case you didn't know. Such a good song. Anyways, Nessa Smalls came about because I was very petite when I was little.
I was very small when I was small.
I was very small when I was smaller.
Younger.
And so my sister Tiana would always give me just random nicknames. And she gave me one, Smalls. And then during a soccer game, my coach heard her call me Smalls, and he was like, who's that? And she was like, Vanessa. And so then I remember in the middle of my soccer game, he said Smalls. And I had like this little moment of excitement, like, oh my God, he just said Smalls. And then halftime came, the girls picked it up like, Smalls, Smalls. So then the girls would start calling me Smalls. My coach did go to high school. Everybody that called me Smalls outside of high school, my friends would hear them call me Smalls in high school. And then
such a badass nickname.
That's how it went. Like even some teachers would call me Smalls a little bit. I was like, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
You've had a lot of nicknames. I think when I was first starting to come over, I started to notice that everyone was calling you Paul. Paul.
Yeah.
So P-A-W.
Yeah, not P-A-U-L.
Well, hang on. Well, that's what I thought at first. Like for the longest, I was just like, why are they calling her Paul? Because Paul. And I remember just being so, I'm like, all right, I guess one day you said something that had to do with your brother, or he was trying to call you, or you said something. And so I was just like, oh, maybe he thought her name was Paul.
No.
I was like, that's weird. And then one day you just explained, well, how did that one come about?
Well, it's funny though, because a little backstory. When I was younger, I got bit by a dog. And so I guess like a little dark inside joke my family has is like me and dogs don't get along anymore. And anytime a dog joke comes up, they just put me into it because I got bit by a dog. And so my sister's boyfriend's daughter, for some reason, every time we told her to say my name, she would just say paw. And so my sister's daughter was the funniest stuff because it's like, see, even she thinks you're a dog. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Wow.
But I thought it was cute. It's like, say Vanessa, paw. Like, what? Okay. That's weird. Can you say Smalls? Paw. So I was like, I guess I'm Paw.
Yeah.
So that's like a little inside nickname that you will hear sometimes around the house. Paw. Like, where's Paw? Paw. But for majority, everybody calls me Smalls.
Do we have any nicknames for each other? Babe. Well,
Burp.
yeah, sometimes we just from across the room, we just always kind of like, oh.
Yeah, it's we have.
I'm sure there's other relationships out there that have their own weird language, but we have our like.
It's like different ways of saying bebe.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
bebe,
and I feel like I've seen it very commonly with other couples. Like you just make up your own ways of saying bebe.
Or saying hello to each other. It's hado. To then just do. So ha.
Yeah.
We'll text each other ha.
And you'll say ha, and I'll finish it like dope.
Yeah.
Like ha dope. And it's so funny because that's how we know like, okay, like they're not busy right now. We're like, okay, like, hey, what are you doing?
When we pop in.
Yeah. And then if not, we're like ha dope? Question mark? Like
that's one of your things. Like a lot of times where I can hear your hados and I know you're tired because there's one hado you do. With that alone, we can figure out each other's emotions. So if I come downstairs and I'm like, dope. She goes, hello. I was like, oh, damn. Okay.
Like it's a long day.
What's going on? What do you need? Double time.
Yeah. That's funny. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah. No, it's I'm the same for me. If you come in and I'm like, what's up?
Oh, yeah. That's how I know something's going on.
Yeah.
You're just like, huh? What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What do you need?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, bye.
And a lot of times that happens whenever, say, if like I come downstairs after the kid, because that's like when we get our alone time. Most of the time we get our alone time when like the boys are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be downstairs, I'll be upstairs, or vice versa. And if I pop down, la bubba, hello, you're just like, yeah. Like, oh, all right. She's in her own space right now. Like this is her time, you know. Me time is very important for us.
Yeah. How did that come up?
I don't know. We just started talking, and things come up, things go down.
But what's funny though was I was on again every single time.
Like a joke. No, go ahead. Okay.
What's funny though was this TikTok kind of ruined it for me because this girl's TikTok came up where she was showing screenshots of her messages with her boyfriend, and she put bub, BEH, and I was like, that's my thing with my boyfriend.
I'm sure it wasn't.
And it was
a terrible joke.
That was horrible.
Damn, that really does kind of anger me. That angers me. Like you really found the same thing.
I found the same thing, but I guess I excused it because we say Bubba with like BEH, but she said BEBEH.
Oh, that's stupid.
That's so different.
Dumb.
It's different. So I was like, they're different.
Yeah.
We're better.
We're 100% different, better.
Yeah.
Cringe.
But I thought it was interesting. I was like, damn it, people have the same things as us.
Yeah. I think as you get older, you kind of realize things like that.
There was just one time where... Because, I mean, obviously, you know, you have different relationships.
Never.
And you will call...
Forgot them all. You're the only one.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I want to hear.
All of us have been erased. I just took the lessons. And I applied them.
Took the trauma and I moved forward. No, but I was thinking about this the other day, how one time you posted a photo of me, or me and you, and you used this caption in Spanish, and everybody gave you shit for it because they said that you used the same caption with the previous ex. Like with
when? I don't remember this at all.
I remember it. So you posted this caption, and it's in Spanish, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went to the comments, and everybody was like, oh, recycling captions now. And I remember you like took it down, like you moved the caption. But then I was like, you guys, it's just a fucking caption, like.
What photo was? I have zero memory of this.
I remember it happened, and I was like, oh shit.
It must have been something very bland, like mi amor or something.
No, it was like an actual, like maybe full sentence or two caption that you made in Spanish. And I remember the comments, people were telling you like, oh, recycling captions now with your new girlfriend versus, you know, this person. And I was like, why does it matter? He calls me babe, like he calls. You know, we will use the same stuff. No, I remember
I don't
that.
Know what that is.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't. I don't remember that at all. We're fighting now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of very different things that are common things that can happen, especially with, you know, in relationships or things you've said. And, you know, I think one time I may have seen something that, you know, you've in your past have like written to someone else. Oh. And I remember like finding like these old messages or something, and like the same way you said something was the same way you said it to me, except you didn't put it out in the public. So I remember seeing something like that and being like, oh, so you have a way of talking to booze that I found, you know. And it could have been a letter, could have been something, I don't know, but you know, like it was just like something I remember finding too. So we're even.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sorry. I don't know where this came from.
Some aggressiveness. Or that TikTok trend you just told me about where boyfriends are pretending to, what is it? Like high five their girlfriends and see if they flinch.
Oh,
that was you with the sandal.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah. I think there was something that happened the other day where like I threw my hands up and I was like ready to hug you or something. You went like that. And I'm like, why would you flinch? Like, you know, if you ever did that in front of people, like they would think like, oh, he's abusive. And you were like, no, I get scared of things. Yeah. I was like, okay, but just know, like, if we're ever in front of people, like that looks bad. Yeah. And I think Andy just told us a story. Andy, you want to pop in real quick and tell us what happened with you and your girlfriend? Fiance, sorry.
Yeah, fiance, bro. You're going to get me in trouble. Yeah. No, we were just at my mom's house and she's like, hey, give me a high five. I'm like, okay. So I put my hand up. And she like flinched, and my mom was like, "What was that?" And I got like a little bit in trouble, but she started laughing, which I think if she didn't start laughing, it would have looked bad, really bad.
How dare she?
It's horrible.
Marley, if you're watching this, Make sure you record it. Okay, we want to all laugh together.
That would be funny. No, but me flinching is just having years of trauma with my 2 older sisters. So if I see anything in midair, I'm like, what is it?
Or the dog story you explained, maybe.
Yeah.
Paul.
So fucked up.
Paul.
I'm just scared now of everything.
No, I'm not trying to make it.
I live in fear.
We gotta take a break. I have to pee really bad. So let's cut real quick. I'll be right back. All right, where were we? I had to go pee.
I have no idea. You know my memory sucks.
Your memory?
My memory sucks. You know that.
Okay, my name is Eric. We have 2 children.
Can we just talk about that though?
Yeah, let's dive into that. Why does your memory suck?
I have no idea.
You're like, that is fucked up. You're going to forget about it later. Right?
I know. I cry. No, but to be completely honest, one thing that is, I want to say concerning, but that I've come to realize, I want to say the past few years, is my memory isn't the best.
Yeah, it's something that we've talked about a lot, where you do remember a lot of things. Like, you remember our arguments. You remember if you were right or wrong.
Selective memory.
Yeah, selective. But there's specific things, like I can ask you, like, oh yeah, so what was it like, when you were younger, or like 3rd grade, 4th grade, whatever, and you're like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, oh, like I don't remember a lot of things either. I think, but I can remember entering like 1st grade for the first time, and when my brother was born, then putting him on like my shoulders and me freaking out because I was like, I don't want to drop him. Yeah, there's just like a bunch of little things that I remember, and I feel like there's not a lot that you share from when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I don't know why. This is probably going to get like into like a deeper conversation, more emotional, but
people in the comments are like, I know what this is.
But, no, okay, so a little background was I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety in middle school, which I already knew.
What'd you do that?
Because I don't like the word diagnosed. Like I'm being diagnosed with depression, anxiety.
Who diagnosed you?
My therapist and doctor.
Okay.
So they told me like you're diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and so I put the quotations like really like I don't like that connotation with it. But anyways, so I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety in middle school, and they say that if you grew up depressed, you basically block out your childhood because to you your childhood wasn't happy. Mm-hmm. But I lived a very happy childhood. That's the thing.
You told me you were very happy.
Yeah. Like, my family is very loving. We were always traveling, going out. I was depressed, but I feel like that was something personal that I was dealing with. But
something could have happened, like, when you were younger that was traumatic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, not to sound rude about it, but, like, the dog bite that you had.
I remember that, though. There's certain things that I do.
Did you feel a shift from that moment on? Like, maybe you were a little more serious, or?
Maybe. It could possibly be that, but it doesn't explain why I don't remember anything toddler, child, growing up before that, Have
you ever tried to do things where like smelling, have you ever smelled something and it takes you back to a memory?
I've gotten what's that word? Nostalgia, where you smell or you hear something and it takes you back. I've gotten those moments, but I can't ever pinpoint why I remember those. Mm-hmm. And the thing about me is like, because I don't remember my childhood or I have any like memories or moments, I will mistake memories with dreams. Because I'm like, I don't know if this is real or if I dreamt it and I think it's real.
Or you always say, I'm having weird deja vu right now.
Yeah. I have deja vu so much, but it's like, it's weird how many times I get deja vu, but the moments where I'll like explain to my family, like, oh, do you remember when this happened? They're like, no. I'm just like, was that a dream then? Did I dream it?
This is something you probably need to like really talk to someone again about,
I feel like I do need to be checked out because, for instance, like diagnosed. Because, for instance, me and Eric went to IKEA once, and I was like, oh my God, this is my first time here. I've never been to IKEA.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, wow, like you're gonna love it. It's so interesting, and there's like different levels, and you walk through it, and you're gonna love it. And I was like, hey, cool. And I remember I loved it. And I messaged my family group chat, and I was like, I'm at IKEA. And I posted it on social media. I was like, my first time at IKEA. And my mom were like, Vanessa, you've been there many times. And I was like, no, I've never been to IKEA before. I have no idea what you're talking about. And they're like, yeah, we used to go to IKEA all the time when you were younger, and you used to hide and play hide and seek with your sisters.
Yeah.
And I remember that made me so sad. Because
Yeah,
I was
well,
like,
of course.
I was like, no, you're wrong. I've never been here, and you're telling me that I have. And they're like, because you have. You know, I can explain to you like many times we've gone, and I just had no idea.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there is something traumatic that happened or multiple, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't sit there and dissect it, but I think like you would probably talk to somebody and they would just be like, okay, well, take me to the earliest memory you have.
And I try to think about that. What's the earliest memory that I have? And it's like blocked. I can't go. I can't. And it's crazy though, because sometimes I think I do get scared a little bit because it's like.
Yeah, it almost feels that way. It almost feels like, so there's times where I ask you questions, right? And you answer me almost in a defensive way.
Mm-hmm.
So I can ask you like, oh, so what did you just do? Nothing? I'm like, nothing? Like, oh, I watched, I was with the boy, or I did it. But you're not like a very detailed person. Yeah. Also, I noticed. It's like I would have to ask you more to get specific details, right? Like, oh, what did the boys eat? I'm like, oh, they could, they had like, avocados.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Like, was that it? No, they also had chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And veg. I did give them like that. And so then you kind of go into it. But I mean, there's that example. There's other examples where I was like, oh, how was like sometimes you'll go and visit like your family and I'll be with the boys. Like, how was it? You're like, it's good. And like that's it. Like sometimes you'll just give me that.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to me, like whenever I come home from something, you're like, oh, how was hanging out with your mom? I'm like, it's good, we got into ... we got into this, we got into that, and I'll give you like a full detail and be like, oh, even like this funny thing that happened, ... I feel like you are becoming better at being more detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, you are becoming more better being detailed and like understanding, like kind of like, okay, like kind of, he means like, what did I go through, my day and like any highlights of the day, basically. But yeah, I do remember like at the beginning, I think you were more just kind of like quick answers, just like move on.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that would be a thing,
But I feel like the reason why I'm not as descriptive whenever somebody asks me what I've done previously is because I forget that fast. Like you can tell me, Vanessa, what did you wear yesterday? What did you wear yesterday? What did you eat? And I'll be like, I don't know. I'll freak out because I'm like, oh my God, what did I do yesterday?
Or is it that exactly? Is it, do you get into your mind like, okay, a bunch of eyeballs on me, I need to answer right now. What if I don't have the right answer? Well, what are they going to, so what if your mind like kind of just triggers into that? Cause you've told me that's why you don't like being around too many people. Cause you have like social anxiety.
I have social anxiety and I know that can affect me as well, but I just don't understand how that can affect my memory though. Being my childhood. Social anxiety, I feel like affects me when it comes to like a group of people.
Well, I think it does explain something because you're just saying like just yesterday I can't tell you what I ate or I can't tell you what I wore because you rather escape from the answer and you rather escape that moment of and you have someone like lingering and waiting like hello,
actually that's true.
Easy question.
Yeah.
Even like because I feel like damn what's a good way to explain this? Say with math. If somebody, no, really, say with math, if someone's just like, yeah, you have $2,000, dollars, you take away $18,000, what are you left with, And I feel like sometimes certain people in front of a group, like, don't want to look dumb. They don't want to be like, stop, I'm not good at math. They're like, you use that excuse because you don't want to be put on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to say the wrong answer. You don't want to look dumb, and sitting there thinking like, 200.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear someone else say, like, say like it's 200.
Yeah, right? I guess. I forgot what numbers you said anyway.
2,000.
My memory, I already forgot.
Right. But I'm saying like I feel like that's a very good maybe example for when people are on the spot and they want to get out of it. Like, shut up.
And it's funny though, because not a lot of people know that. They think that what they see online is like me in person, but what they don't realize is like I struggle a lot with anxiety and social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And It's very easy for me to sit down with you right here because I'm comfortable with you and there's only one other person here.
Yeah.
But deep down, what you don't realize is like now I'm starting to sweat and inside I'm like internally stressed out right now. Like I'm sweating, but that happens because of my social anxiety.
Yeah.
But
and I'm sure there's a lot of people watching that like can relate to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say we're in the age of just being with our phones.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to, like, because back then, for me at least, like, phones weren't what they are now. Like, there's so much information you can get from your phone, and this moment of happiness where you can just scroll, refresh, and you're just kind of like, and you can hear good news, you can hear bad news, and I don't even know if there's studies yet that have been like completed where it's like, how much bad news can we receive in a day? And that's why people have like these tactics, like, you know what, try to stay off your phone as much as you can and just like be in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that makes sense. It feels like that has more like you kind of just dive into a different world. When we're on our phones, like there's a lot of times where we're just like, we're gone for a good 20 minutes. You know, we can be taking a 30-minute, thinking like, oh, damn, like I was done 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm still sitting here, watching this video or, watching some terrible thing that's happening across the world. So I don't know. I feel like maybe that has something to do with that.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but are the boys waking up?
Ziggy's is knocked out. Cruz has been up, but he's like chilling, tossing, turning. He's relaxing.
He's thinking about life.
He's thinking about life. Like, when am I gonna get out of here? Who's gonna pick me up?
But speaking of that, like, I don't know how parents do it today because we're not at the age yet for our boys like to be like, oh, okay, let's put a iPad in front of them. Let's put give them a phone. And I think like, oh, I can't believe like other parents just do that. They just put that in front of their face but in a way, like we kind of will turn on like cartoons for them, Elmo or whatever. And we're like, oh, okay, they're not being so fussy.
Yeah.
And at what point do we say like, oh, well, that might be too much, or we don't want to overwhelm them and create like a lot of like anxiety.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the answer, honestly, us being on our phones and receiving so much information versus like our parents. They grew up, if someone called the house, like you had to answer to mom, dad, and then be like, who's this? Mm-hmm. You have a call. Who the fuck is Jose?
Stupid.
I don't know. And now we have everything in our phones.
Yeah, you can do everything. And that's what was happening with me. My social anxiety was getting to the point where I couldn't order for myself. Walking into like fast food restaurants, like I would freak out whenever it was my turn to go up and they're like, hi, like what would you like to order? And I had to tell them what I wanted. I would freak out. So it got to the point where I was ordering online. All I had to do was just go in, pick it up and leave. And I still struggle to this day kind of with that. I feel like having the kids has made me loosen up a little bit and be more like stern. But yeah, that happens with like answering phones. Before I answer a phone, I'm like fighting myself like, okay, how are you going to answer this? Like, hi, hi, who is this?
Or you wouldn't want me to be in the room with you listening to you make an order online or through the phone.
And do you notice it? Or did I tell you that? Because whenever I'm on the phone,
that's something I would notice.
Yeah.
But you were also vocal about it. You're like, I get a little.
So if I were to ever make a phone call, I leave the room. I have to be by myself. I have to make sure like nobody hears me talk because it messes with me, I feel like.
Yeah. And in my head, I thought of two things. I'm like, well, okay, well, I got to be, like I want to be sensitive towards this because like I know that like it's something you're struggled with. For me, I can pick up the phone and be like, blah, 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 blah. And no black olives.
Yeah.
I actually love black olives. I don't
you
know why
love
I said
black olives.
But that was an example for you, I guess. But I've always been the type of person that at restaurants, like I'm very friendly. Like I'll strike up a conversation with the waiter, bartender, and I'm just very quick to, how are you doing today, Matt? Because I think I liked it. I loved bartending and meeting people when I did it for a little bit at CPK, California Pizza Kitchen. And basically just meeting people like really made my day, and meeting different personalities and like, just hustling, working. And then like at the end you get a tip, you're like, dope, So anytime that I've gone to restaurants, like I would notice that, you were a little more quiet, and when you would order, you didn't want to be too detailed. You didn't want to be, I guess going back and forth with somebody. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, oh, okay, well, cool. Cool because like, you don't trip out about that. Like, I think like that's another topic, but like, I'm pretty sure like some people in like relationships, if the guy's a little too friendly with like say the waitress or the server, you know, be like, okay, are you flirting? Blah blah blah. Luckily, you don't see it that way. I'm just a very friendly person, and you're a little more.
Yeah, and that's we're different, I guess. Like you're, what is it, extrovert, and I'm an introvert.
Yeah, to other people, I would be considered like an extrovert.
And I'm such an introvert, but whenever we go out in public, I guess it just depends on who I'm around. Because sometimes I can like loosen up and be fun, but for the most part, I feel like just based off my anxiety, I'm very closed off. Unless I'm with him. And there's been times where I'm like, unless I'm with Eric somewhere out in public, then I can be comfortable and loose.
You've started to, you do loosen up though whenever you start to meet people, and you know, it's kind of like the kids, like our boys right now. Like whenever there's new people that come in, like we try to warn people, like don't come in like hug them or smother them, you know, don't kiss them, either. But like we let them kind of just like fill it out. They're gonna stare at you. They're gonna kind of you know, fill them out, him or her. And then little by little, they'll kind of like come and they'll start like high-fiving. And you know, but the same, I think like with you, you know, like, like you kind of need to fill that out. Kind of like, hi, hello. You know, and to me, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I'm in your face, huh? And I've learned to kind of find a balance with that actually with myself. Cause I don't like to feel like I'm
coming off too strong.
So that's something that I've like pulled back on, just being like, hey, how you doing? You know? And I'm slowly realizing that I'm kind of low key introvert. You know, I lived alone for throughout my 20s, like for like 7, 8 years. And I love just kind of just chilling by myself, watching Netflix, getting fat.
You are not fat.
Huh?
You are not fat.
I heard you are fat. It's like rude. Right? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's something that you could totally dive into. And I feel like in the comment section, people are going to be either relating to you or like, oh, I know what it is, you know?
I mean, there's been some what ifs, maybes, things that might have happened. But for the most part, I have no memory of it, so I don't know. Moral of the story is I'm going to therapy. I should. And that's really something
you do.
I encourage people. I think therapy is very healthy.
Well, it's like letting emotion out, letting your thoughts out. And I feel like a lot of us have like emotions and thoughts that we just keep in all day. And sometimes whenever you ever have like that best friend or that friend that like will just unload on you. Oh my God, blah, blah, this. And I can't believe he did this. And I'm going to leave him. I am sick and tired of this BS, blah, 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 right? And so what you end up thinking is like, oh, damn, I guess they're going to break up, right? And say if that's an example. But then they're still together. And you're like, oh, then they were BSing. Like, no, sometimes people just need a vent. Like, people just need someone else to vent so that they can hear themselves talk and then think like, maybe it's not that bad, you know? And I think that's a very important thing, like, to just let things go.
Release.
Right? There's like a professor, it may have been like some old YouTube video I've seen, but it's like he's holding a glass of water. And he goes, if I was to tell you to hang on to this glass of water for a minute, you can do it, right? He goes, yeah. But if I told you 5 minutes, you're like, sure. But if I told you an hour, it's gonna start to hurt, right? And so the metaphor he was using is obviously things that you hang on to or you keep in, like hurt, as opposed to just letting them go. And I've always kind of kept that in with my thoughts, you know, if I need to release, or sometimes like I'll find people that I can talk to. Like my mom is someone that I can speak to, and at the very end of a conversation, you know, my mom can be like, okay, how do you feel? I'm like, good. Thanks.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks for listening, you know? And then my mom will give her 2 cents if she can. You know, and the same with like my older brother, or some friends that I feel like I'm close to. But yeah, I feel like in the time that you and I have been dating, like I want you to always open up and let things out and kind of just release anything like you're holding in, except your farts.
Right.
Last episode. All right. Still haven't ate. What time is it? 4:30.
It's 4:30 and we haven't ate breakfast.
We look so skinny.
Right. And this is my bad side. I'm so angry that we have the same good sides, because when we get married, this is my bad side and they're going to look at your good side.
Oh,
it is
God,
my
I'm
day.
so
It is
upset.
my day, and I'm going to get my bad side.
We'll just have another camera guy on the other side for you.
I'm going to be like,
Into the mic.
the mic's right here. I'm just like,
You have
yes,
two
I
mics.
do.
I do. And then speaking of social media, speaking of, getting on and hearing good news or bad news or just things that, satisfy us, I guess, while we scroll. Why is TikTok so successful? I feel like once I get on TikTok, it's the one platform where I share a bunch of videos to you or friends, my mom, even Crystalline, like everybody that I share with. And I'm like, I got to share that one for sure. Versus like Instagram, which I love Instagram, and I'm very fortunate that I can pull off a lot of like brand deals, especially too, like on Instagram, and it's been paying the bills. So shout outs to Instagram and the followers and everything that comes with it. But like TikTok is just, why is it so different?
I think it's different because it's more real. Out of all the social media apps, I think the realest of them all is TikTok. I think the fakest of them all is Instagram. Because Instagram is...
I didn't say that Instagram. She did.
Because you're stupid.
Don't take away my blue check mark. No, but I get it. Yeah.
Instagram has always been kind of like what you want to, what's the word, portray to people.
Right. It's
so,
like a modelly,
yeah,
I'm good.
Instagram's more of like, let me show off what I have, because that's what gets the most likes.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of Instagram, the whole beauty industry has changed so much, because whatever you see on Instagram is so fake, but that's become the new beauty standard for posting on Instagram. In a way, beauty wise.
What do you mean fake though? By what do you mean fake? Because I feel like we're on Instagram and we're seeing. I totally understand beauty standards. Like like how people look and whatever they may shape and add. With the what are the apps?
Photoshop, like Facetune and all that.
Facetune, Photoshop, all of that. Like that people dive into. I feel I feel like that part can be very fake. About what people do on the platform. I don't feel like the platform is fake. I think like some people can really, use it to portray something different. But with TikTok, I feel you go and somebody can just use some really dope music, and they do like starting my morning off with a cup of coffee. They get the sound in, they get everything going, they get in the car, and they look happy, and you relate to that. You're like, hey, that was me. That was me yesterday. Like, yeah, I feel that. And the music was great. So it looks artistic. As opposed to, like IG can be very much just like, here's a new photo. It's a little more vain on IG, like, hey, I just did a photo shoot. And so then you see like their next 5-6 photos of like them looking cute. That's what it is. It's vanity. It's like you pop up there like, look how good I look in this one. And my chest is looking good in this one, and my arms, and it's worked, like sometimes for me, like I see certain people that I follow and I'm like, I want to have that person's body, like, and it'll motivate me, but it just depends on how you feel and what you're following or looking at.
I feel like because I'm not as active as I used to be on Instagram. When I first had Instagram, I was posting like every day, every 2 days. I was active, and I feel like now seeing the shift of it, it's definitely become more professional and more business-like.
Yeah.
And so whenever I go on Instagram, all I'm seeing is like business, and it's great for small businesses. Like I love it, but I just feel like it's taking, like the money has taken over Instagram. People want to flex like what they wear that they've bought, which is like the most expensive stuff. Also, it's just like, money that you just see. And for me, when I say it's fake, it's because what I post on Instagram versus what I post on TikTok is completely different. On Instagram, I may look like this mom that has it all together, versus on TikTok, I'm making TikTok videos of like what motherhood is really like, the truth behind it. And, like what I do on my spare time.
It's almost like the real you.
Yeah.
On TikTok. Because I feel the same way when I'm getting ready to post something on Instagram. I think more about like, okay, would it work? What about when on TikTok, I'm just like, hopefully it works, maybe it will, maybe it won't. and then boom, you get like these crazy impressions, because that's what they're mostly about, right? Like how many people have either looked at it, swiped through it, like they count that as an impression, as opposed to like Instagram is like more focused on likes, you know, and just like, ooh, that photo did bad. But if you go into your insights, you can be like, oh damn, the impressions were like 200,000. 200,000 people saw us and didn't like it. You know, like,
right?
So it's just like you think very, very different with the two platforms and how they make you feel.
Yeah, and I always say that, like, what is it? Facebook is like the Instagram for family.
Yeah.
And the Instagram is more of like your social life, like your friends and whatever.
Isn't that crazy that like our families are like a part of a thing online, and it's Facebook?
It's Facebook. Yeah.
You know, I thought it was cute that when we did the gender reveal for the boys, your dad was like, he was doing this, and I thought he was just recording. But I think someone told me he was like on Facebook Live. And I was like, oh,
he was on Facebook
cool.
Live.
Or I've gone out with your parents before, and I remember one time, your dad had out. You know, we went to like I think it was a Mana cover band thing, 80s night or something. Yeah, your dad was like holding out. I was like, is he recording something? And I looked over and he was like doing a live. Well, that's pretty cool. Right, so millennial of you.
And what is it? And I feel like with TikTok too, TikTok's very versatile, however you say it. Like it'll match your algorithm, but you're still learning something new with different topics. Versus Instagram, it's kind of like you already know what your niche is.
The fact that you can take songs and stitch them, or you can make them your own. Like people know how, like that girl that started, I don't know if it was her, but someone that started just, name me a time that you knew that ... And then people are like, okay, so for me it was this one time, and there's just a bunch of those, right? Or tell me something that you have learned at school that, you know, other people probably haven't, you know, and boom, you just learned this entire thing. Or if there's a sound that goes, waking up in the morning, I don't even know what it is, but you know that something is going to like lead to like failing, and it's going to be a funny video.
Yeah.
Or someone's attempt to something, you know, that we can all laugh at their expense.
At their expense.
I don't know, like when I get off TikTok, like I feel good. Like we watch TikTok before we go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, good night. We'll pray, you know, say good night, man.
And then we're just
oh no.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I saw that one.
Yeah. Oh, are you watching that one too? Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Isn't that crazy though? How like
Andy, who said that
so
you
sorry.
can? No.
Go on.
No, well, like
sorry, dude. Go ahead.
Well, because like you said, oh, I already saw that one. Isn't it crazy? Like since you guys are in the same house, like he saw a TikTok, and then like a couple TikToks later, you're gonna get the TikTok. Like I think that's.
Was it you that said it though? That it'll like.
Yeah. It gets your location. So if you're in California, it's going to get like all your surrounding areas.
Really?
If you move to Vegas, you'll get those. If you go to Arizona, you'll get those. Yeah. So
interesting.
TikTok is really good with their algorithms.
Yeah, their algorithm. Sure. I mean, but they have every other app already out there so that they can easily, you know, take from that, like take their blueprints of things or things that it's like taking someone else's notes from class, you know? Like if you have an older sister, older brother, and you were able to see all their notes for like world history, you're like, oh, I can apply this and then turn it into my own. I feel like TikTok does that. You know, they know Instagram's there, they know Facebook is there, Snapchat even. Like, they all have their own niche and they use it, and they think, how can I make this better?
And it's better.
And it is.
But that's what I like how you said that.
I still love you, IG. Okay, don't take away my blue check.
Yeah. But it's true, like, whenever I get off TikTok, I feel good about myself, and, like, I want more of it. Versus when I go on Instagram, I feel, like, just toxic. I feel bad. I'm just, like, ugh. I feel bad about not posting.
I think TikTok knows that. Like, whenever you scroll past something, they're like, oh, they don't like that. Like, they spent half a second on whatever that topic was.
Yeah, that's true. But it's, like,
sorry, I didn't mean
Twitter's more, like, informative, I guess, like, around the world. But it can also be a little toxic because people on Twitter are just freaking savage. So you already know when you go on Twitter, you're going to see something funny, but something like...
I feel like people that are successful on Twitter are like almost like comedic type, like really funny people, people that are good with their words, people that are very funny and can have a conversation back and forth and make other people... It's like rebuttal world almost.
Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter, like blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. So dot, 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 you know, versus like, you know, Instagram, you can have any range of followers. I don't feel like a lot of little kids are on Twitter, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
You know, I don't think like, it's interesting to see like pretty model type girls being super successful on Instagram versus like their Twitter account. I don't think that shit's popping unless they're doing like OnlyFans or popping their cooch.
Popping cooch for bands.
Popping cooch for bands. Popping cooch for bands on OnlyFans.
Yeah. So if you don't know, my OnlyFans is. I'm just kidding. Sorry guys, we took a little break there.
Oh, look who it is.
You went Magneto. Is that the kitty cat?
The boys have woken up. So welcome to the Kids Are Awake podcast. Babe.
Sorry.
And Magneto's in here too, so 2 of my 3 childrens are here. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about TikTok, we were talking about Instagram, and son, how do you feel about it all?
They made their little debuts on TikTok.
We're all loud to you. You're like, yeah. I think at the end of the day, like, it's crazy how we can be on our phones, apps, and a bunch of stuff that like will affect us.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a bunch of videos that we may have seen this morning that just kind of affect or alter the way we think throughout that day. Mm-hmm. What a big look, even Magneto's here. Oh man, what a treat.
I'm watching you. Huh? I'm watching you, Magneto.
That's your older adopted brother. ¿Qué quieres tú? Adoptado.
You're so stupid.
I hope you can hear that, right? Okay.
Hi, baby.
Okay. I mean, should we wrap it up, bro? Son?
What is that?
Special guest today. Now the question is it Cruz or Ezekiel? Can they figure it out?
This is the one that's been giving me trouble.
Yeah, he's staying up a little later. But I mean, he slept a bunch right now, huh?
Yeah, he slept pretty good. They're so spoiled. These boys are so spoiled and loved.
I know.
What?
His grandma's downstairs.
What to be how am I wording it?
What?
Oh, to be a baby again.
Yeah. What's that like? Oh, you're gonna.
He's like, Mom,
besito?
I'm ready to venture.
Perfect. All right. Well, wow. Our first guest. First couple guests.
Is that the cat?
I noticed that we haven't really been posting them too much, or like, you know, people have been like questioning, like, oh wait, they're walking now? What?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've gotten those responses too. Like, you don't post the boys anymore. Like, you stopped posting the boys. And it's kind of like, yeah, they're my children.
Mm-hmm.
I can. I can show you guys whatever I want. But,
right.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes social media and exploiting, not exploiting, I know I'm not exploiting my children, but I feel like sometimes I just want things more personal.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Cruz is with his grandma, by the way, downstairs.
Yeah,
right
this
now.
is Ezekiel.
This is Zeki's. So if you figured it out, congrats. Yeah. But yeah, I even with the vlogs, like, there's just something about me that I'm like, I just really, I just really want to just enjoy them and not be like having a camera in front of their face.
Yeah.
So
And we see how affecting it is when there are channels that literally will exploit their children just for all of that. And I feel like that's not the message we want. You know, we have kids, this is who they are, but we're also very personal with.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some do like go to that level of exploitation, and then others just kind of like just want to have them involved, which is okay, I think. But yeah, I think just for us, we just wanted to kind of just live our moments with them and our memories, and we have tons of video on our phones for sure. But it's like we're not really putting it up. Arriba, para abajo. Yay!
Good job.
So the cutest thing is whenever they see their blankets, they immediately
They suck their thumbs. Just like their father.
When you bring my blanket. All right, let me close it off. Yeah. All right, go with your mother. Well, thank you guys again for stopping by on the Kids Are Asleep podcast. But thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us on Instagram. Link below. Yeah, till next time. We'll see you then.